NBC Nebraska. Your live, local 6 o'clock news starts now.
So long, early spring. We're tracking a big shift in the forecast in the Weather Center and out in your community. It's your top story on NBC Nebraska News at 6. Good evening, I'm Catherine Silver.
And I'm Spencer Schubert. Thanks for joining us. We've issued a weather alert day due to snow and wind.
There's winter watches and warnings, even some blizzard warnings in northeast Nebraska tonight. The snowfall started early this morning in the Panhandle and still continues to come down. This is what it looked like in Scotts Bluff County this morning. The Panhandle could get up to 16 inches. We're told road conditions are getting worse and worse the more snow falls.
Well, meteorologist Brandon Rector joins us now from the Weather Center with our current conditions. Brandon.
Well, Spencer, we're starting to see the transition to snow in the Tri-Cities right now. In fact, the report at the top of the hour, both at the Grand Island and Hastings Airport, getting reports of light snow at this time. Here is a look at our winter storm warning across much of northern Nebraska, the blizzard warning that Catherine just mentioned for portions of northeastern Nebraska. That's mainly the extreme northeastern portion of the state, and the Interstate 80 corridor, including York, Grand Island, Kearney, and Lexington, under the winter weather advisory. Here's a look at our satellite radar picture through the day today, and the snow this morning was out in the north and into the Panhandle. We have seen rain, some mixed precipitation, even some thunderstorms across portions of south central Nebraska, as well as the southeastern part of the state and northern Kansas. We're starting to see that transition over to snow, though, in Kearney, Grand Island, and Hastings at this time. I know it shows rain there, but the report at the top of the hour was that it is snow now falling at Hastings, and our visibility has dropped to 3/4 of a mile, half-mile visibility in Ord and Broken Bow. So we're talking about visibility dropping to as low as maybe half a mile as this snow moves through for tonight, and is very likely for us throughout tomorrow morning. In fact, likely through about midday, and then dropping as we go into the afternoon and evening for tomorrow. Coming up, we will take a look at how much snow we could see by the time it's all said and done.
All right, thanks, Brandon. We'll check in soon. You heard him. Snow already starting to fall in the Tri-Cities tonight.
Yeah, those with a few days of the warmer temps certainly teased us. And NBC Nebraska's Austin Miller is live in Grand Island tonight with more on the sudden change.
Well, there's certainly a lot of frustration. The common theme in talking to people today was, why did that warmer weather have to leave? A lot of people are just ready for spring to get here and to stay. Some are also concerned about tomorrow's weather, and it's not just the snow. And talking with some truck drivers, they're worried about what this wind could be like tomorrow as well. If it's strong enough and if their load is not heavy enough, a couple of truck drivers have told me they might have some delays in getting to their final destination. It's something they're going to be keeping an eye on tonight going into tomorrow. Reporting live in Grand Island, Austin Miller, NBC Nebraska News.
All right, stay warm out there and safe. Thanks, Austin. This snow will not mix well with high winds tonight. The Nebraska State Patrol already tweeted out this photo. They've worked at least 4 crashes and multiple slide-offs out west. You're advised to stay home if you can. If you must travel, here's some reminders from the State Patrol. Stick to those well-traveled routes. We'll be updating you with some current road conditions tonight on NBC Nebraska. Also, carry a red flag or bandana in your car, so if you do get stuck, you can signal you're in trouble. And if you get stranded, stay with your car until help arrives.
Well, the Nebraska State Patrol calls the number of deadly accidents in 2017 alarming. We're up 15 fatalities from just this time a year ago. State troopers map out the number of those fatalities in their office. There are also signs when they walk in the door with the most updated number. It's all in an effort to make it personal for these troopers, reminding them these are our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, all getting killed out on the roads.
We take it personal when these things happen, and that's why we look for trends, and that's why we encourage, seatbelt usage, not being impaired where you're driving. That's why we encourage troopers to, go out and educate the public.
NSP says it's simple. If they could get people to wear their seatbelts, perhaps there wouldn't be 35 deaths across the state.
Here in the Tri-Cities, Grand Island police are investigating a deadly crash on Allen Drive just yesterday. Still no citations issued. We have learned the woman who died is Evelyn Dwinell. Police tell us she was pulling out of Olive Garden when her car was hit. The Trump administration so far is focused on spending and security, but many Republicans are not forgetting promises to make major policy changes when it comes to health care.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says Planned Parenthood will lose federal funding as part of the legislative process, all to roll back Obamacare, something he promised again in a recent briefing.
Obamacare is not simply stuck in some kind of status quo. It is getting worse by the day, and it will keep getting worse unless we act.
Now, there's been marches from both sides of the Planned Parenthood debate, but we want to know how people in the Tri-Cities are feeling.
NBC Nebraska's Julie Tate joins us now live in studio. Julie, take it away.
Well, guys, Bill 241 was proposed earlier this year by Republican Senator Joni Ernst and is called the Protect Funding for Women's Care Act. Some people stand with what that bill aims to achieve, but others are adamantly against it.
The issue is dividing people in the Tri-Cities too. Some are saying the politicians who want to cut Planned Parenthood are not only hurting women, but men as well, especially when it comes to sex education.
And simple things, just educating people on, STDs and contraception and all that stuff, I think will go a long way to help lower abortions and to raise our public health.
But pro-life locals favor defunding Planned Parenthood because they want to see fewer abortions, even though Planned Parenthood provides other services. One local pastor says he'd rather see abortions banned and for women going through an unplanned pregnancy to have a strong support system.
We make the issue abortion and we forget that underneath that big issue is real people with real skin who have real issues and need other real people walking alongside of them.
While Janessa and Joe may not see eye to eye on Planned Parenthood or the procedures or services it provides, they both agree that people need to speak out and have their voice heard.
I did reach out to Planned Parenthood to see how many abortions they have done, and the representative I spoke with said abortions this past year have only accounted for 2% of the services they perform. And she also says state abortions have consistently decreased in recent years. Catherine?
Thanks, Julie. So how much money does the government actually give to Planned Parenthood? Well, we looked at the most recent report that Planned Parenthood is required to share with the IRS. Federal funding is the #1 revenue source, about $500 million each year. Now, if we look at what services that money is used for the most, it's actually STD treatment. That's this bright pink section at the bottom right here. Abortion services are only 3%.
With the state's largest industry trying to rebound, we're taking a look at how the ag decline is affecting beef production. A USDA report says prices are down, with values of both feeder and fed cattle trending lower for most of 2016. Now it's spilling into the retail market, and consumers say they are content with these lower beef prices.
I'm content with it now. It seems like it's came down a little bit. I know a few months back, prices seem to be a little high, especially like hamburger and stuff, but it seems to be leveling itself out right now.
Consumers say it's important for people to remember we are supporting local farmers when we buy meat. Well, giving birth to a child is risky. Even after the child is born, a new mother could end up back in the hospital or in some cases even die.
NBC Nebraska's Chase Howell is live in our newsroom. Chase, what risks are we talking about here?
Catherine, a doctor at CHI St. Francis in Grand Island says that postpartum bleeding is a huge issue threatening a mother right after her baby is born.
In America, maternal hemorrhage is the third leading cause of death in women having children. And in underdeveloped countries, it's actually the leading cause of death.
Find out at 10 what can cause those new moms to hemorrhage and how you at home can help. Spencer and Catherine.
Thank you, Chase. Well, straight ahead, Brandon has a full check of that forecast, plus protesters clear out of camp in North Dakota, but this fight is far from over with more than 40 arrests in just hours. We'll tell you what happens next.
And later, what happens when you combine ferocious Siberian tigers with modern technology? Well, wait till you see this.
And now your NBC Nebraska weather forecast with meteorologist Brendan Rector.
Well, hello winter again. After 2 weeks of well above average temperatures for us, it was back towards more February-like conditions for us today, at least temperature-wise, and sure enough, snow-wise as well, as we're finally seeing some more snow moving back into the area. We have a winter storm warning across much of northern Nebraska, and then you can see that winter weather advisory again, in case you missed it earlier, is generally along the Interstate 80 corridor at this time. Blizzard warning a little further to the northeast there, up around portions of Iowa, Minnesota, and extreme northeastern Nebraska. Now, not only do we have a winter weather threat, but we also have a severe weather threat as well as we go throughout what's left of this evening, at least early to mid-evening hours. From Omaha, Lincoln towards Smith Center, a marginal risk for severe weather. That would include Hebron as well. Then Concordia up towards Pawnee City in the southeastern part of Nebraska into northeastern Kansas, a slight risk for severe weather. The reason for this is hail could be large enough in some of these storms that it reaches severe criteria, so a marginal to slight risk for severe weather. Here is a look at our satellite radar picture. We've already had those thunderstorms firing up across portions of south central, southeastern Nebraska earlier this afternoon. Looks like maybe a little line of thunderstorms trying to develop there from around Smith Center to just south of Hastings. We're seeing the transition to all snow now in the Tri-Cities. It was first off Kearney, and now at the top of the hour, Grand Island, and there you go, Hastings turning over to snow now as well. This will continue its eastward push, so York, Hebron, eventually you'll see snow later on this evening, then probably around midnight as you head towards Lincoln and Beatrice, seeing that change over there. Here is a look at our future cast as we go through the night, matching up pretty well with what's out there at this time. So let's play this through here. We see the snow continuing 11 o'clock by tomorrow morning, 3 a.m., then 7 a.m. So this is 7 a.m. tomorrow morning according to this model. This is what we could be dealing with for the morning commute. So snow likely across much of central and eastern Nebraska, even parts of the west. So keep that in mind. With the wind of 20, 30 gusting to 40 miles per hour, there'll be reduced visibility. There'll be slick conditions out there for you, so give yourself plenty of time if you have to get to a destination tomorrow morning. And we see that snow tapering off through the day west to east, generally in the afternoon and evening in the central and eastern parts of the state. Saturday will be a dry day, but I think we're looking at a mostly cloudy day at this point, and it will be chilly for us, but not as windy or breezy for that matter compared to what we've dealt with today and tomorrow. Looking at our additional snowfall potential up north, 6 to 12 more inches of snow, where it's been snowing throughout the day already. Some areas already seeing those amounts of snow. 4 to 8 around Broken Bow, Ord, and Albion. 2 to 5 Lexington, Tri-Cities towards York. I think the further north you are, say Grand Island, I'd lean more towards the 3, 4, maybe 5. Hastings, 2, 3, maybe 4. And then I think Kearney maybe in that 2 to 4 range as well. And then 1 to 3 as you head a little further south and out towards Lincoln and Beatrice. Our temperatures 20s, 30s for the most part, with temperature of 31, 32 in the Tri-Cities, about 30 degrees colder than we were at this point yesterday. Our winds are out of the northeast at about 10, 20, 25 miles per hour. Gusts 25 to 30. Again, we may see gusts up to 40 later on tonight into tomorrow. Our wind chills, teens and 20s, expect that to continue as we go throughout tonight and tomorrow. Our temperatures dropping into the upper 20s with snow likely for us, very likely, all the way through the night and even into tomorrow morning, with the winds gusting over 30 miles per hour, wind chills at least in the teens starting off tomorrow as well. 29 by 3 o'clock, 30% chance for some additional snow. As we go through the next 7 days, it does get a little bit better for us from here. We're back in the 40s as we get into next week. This weekend, mid to upper 30s. Small chance of precipitation on Sunday, another chance for snow late Monday night, maybe rain or snow shower for us on Tuesday as well. Some breezy conditions Tuesday and Wednesday. So watch out tonight. Reduced visibility, slick conditions, again 2 to 5 inches of snow possible for Grand Island, Kearney, and Hastings at this time. More news next here on NBC Nebraska, News at 6.
Another turn away from the Obama administration. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is signaling support for the federal government's use of private prisons.
Here's a look at the actual memo. This replaces one signed by Sally Yates just last year, who was Deputy Attorney General at the time. Sessions says ending the use of privately run prisons will not meet the future needs of the federal correctional system. Now, the memo sent during the Obama administration cited a report saying privately run prisons had more safety and security incidents.
Well, after 6 months, the Maine Dakota Access Pipeline protest camp in North Dakota is now officially closed. Morton County officials removed the last remaining protesters from that camp today. Since the eviction notice was delivered, 44 people have been arrested for refusing to leave. Most protesters did leave peacefully back on Wednesday. An American Indian activist who opposes the pipeline says the battleground is shifting to the courts and the court of public opinion.
Well, what's a drone to a bunch of tigers? Apparently, just an expensive toy. A camera captured this video of tigers in China chasing the drone like a game of cat and mouse. It's all fun and games, of course, until a 2 or 3-year-old tiger swiped at the camera, a large paw filling its screen before losing signal. The group then just tears the drone apart. Well, round 2 for the Huskers tonight against Michigan State.
Pinnacle Bank Arena is rocking as we speak. We'll have an update next in sports.
Now, your local sports with NBC Nebraska's Justin Beagle.
3 weeks ago, the Michigan State Spartans took over Pinnacle Bank Arena and spoiled a night dedicated to Husker great Tyronn Lue, winning 72-61. Tonight, the two Big Ten foes meet once again, this time in East Lansing. Big Red looking to return the favor. In Lincoln, the Spartans shot a season-best 56% from the field and banked 11 three-point shots. They had the hot hand, to say the least. It was an outing that still haunts Husker head coach Tim Miles, and he hopes for a different result tonight.
I can prove that it was one of our worst defensive performances in my career here, and it was one of their best performances of the season. I would like to think we will match up better, that we will play better, and we will have a better outcome too in terms of how we compete.
Good news for Nebraska. Since Ed Morrow returned, opponents have only averaged 64 points per game. This one tipping off just moments ago. The Huskers are trailing Michigan State 13-9 midway through the first half. Now also in action up north in Ann Arbor, the Lady Huskers taking on 25th ranked Michigan State. You're scoring that one. Big Blue up 26-8. Well, we're going to go to sticking with the Big Red now. Darren Erstad and the Husker baseball team back in action this afternoon versus Oregon State. Your final, the Huskers fall 10-1. They face Utah on Friday. Well, to the hardwood now, we're inching closer and closer to the state basketball tournament in Lincoln. Tonight, boys teams in Class C and D are back for action in sub-district finals. A lot of intriguing matchup right here in the Tri-Cities. St. Cecilia, Adams Central, Donovan Trumbull, and Kearney Catholic all in action and will look to secure a spot in next week's district championships. Catch the full highlights right here at 10 o'clock. Now here are some of your matchups. Note the C19 sub-district game between GICC and Boone Central is postponed due to the weather. We already mentioned some of our local teams. We've also got some Class D sub-districts on tap. Heartland and Kennesaw and Giltner and Heartland Lutheran. Well, she'll be playing for a district title tomorrow night, but for St. Cecilia's Lucy Skoke, her future is on the volleyball court, and she won't be going too far. This morning, alongside her family and teammates, Skoke signed her letter of intent to play at Hastings College under head coach Matt Buttermore, a school she had her sights on from the very beginning.
It did. I just feel like Hastings is a very good program, and you know, I see the intensity and I see it in their eyes and how they just are very swift with the ball, and I like that play, and it's really fun to watch.
At 6 foot, Skoke could be a likely replacement for middle hitter Logan Drupal. Now, finally tonight, it may not feel like pool weather, but believe it or not, the high school swimming and diving championships are underway. All eyes will be on Grand Island's Matt Novinsky, looking to win his 4th straight state title in the 100-meter backstroke. He will swim tomorrow afternoon around 12:30ish.
Now that's outdoor swimming footage. Fortunately, they're inside.
Yes, we had some of that file video, but no. Selected Matt Novinsky, Hastings and Grand Island and Kearney all have teams in there, so we'll see what they can do.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Let's head to Skyview. Brandon's tracking that forecast. Definitely not swimming weather in Kearney tonight. We'll let you know what conditions to expect for the night ahead when we come back.
Winter weather advisory around the Interstate 80 corridor. Winter storm warning across much of northern Nebraska for tonight into your Friday. Satellite radar picture showing the snow has moved into the Tri-Cities. That snow line now towards Aurora, making its way towards York. Could see a few thunderstorms maybe around the Hebron towards Smith Center area as we go through the next hour or two. Snow is likely to continue for us, as well as reduced visibility, as we are less than a mile in some locations already. Could be as low as a quarter to half a mile as we go through the night and into tomorrow. Temperatures remaining pretty much in the upper 20s to around 30 throughout the next 12 hours. So watch out for those slick conditions and reduced visibility tonight.
All right, stay up to date with our latest weather conditions on our KSNB News app tonight. Thanks for watching NBC Nebraska News at 6.
Be safe out there and have a good night.